Hello football lovers, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into one of the most fascinating stories in women's football, the tale of players who had the option to represent other nations, but instead chose to fight for the pride, passion, and heritage of Nigeria's Super Falcons. The Super Falcons are not just Africa's most successful women's national team, they are also a symbol of identity and resilience. With 9 Women's Africa Cup of Nations titles and multiple World Cup appearances, the Falcons have inspired generations. But behind their success lies a unique trend: foreign-born talents who could have worn the jerseys of football giants like England or the USA, yet chose Nigeria instead. In this video, we count down 5 incredible players who turned down their birth nations to represent the Super Falcons. We'll explore their journeys, their struggles, and the powerful reasons why they picked Nigeria. From grassroots stories in England to academic brilliance in America, these women prove that national pride is deeper than birthplace. So, if you love football, heritage, and inspiring decisions, stick with me till the end, because number 1 on this list is a story that will leave you truly inspired. Alright, let's kick off the countdown, starting with number 5. Number 5, Esther Okoronkwo. Coming in at number 5 is Esther Okoronkwo, a striker with pace, power, and passion. Esther's story is slightly different from others on this list because she was born in Nigeria but grew up in the United States. This gave her the opportunity to represent the US, one of the biggest forces in women's football. But instead of going down the easy route, Esther made a bold choice to pledge her future to Nigeria. Raised in Richmond, Texas, Esther's football journey started in school competitions before she rose through the ranks in the US college system. In America, women's football has one of the strongest infrastructures in the world: world-class facilities, huge crowds, and consistent investment. For a young talent like her, the logical dream would be to fight for a spot in the US women's national team. But Esther's heart was elsewhere. Every time she watched the Super Falcons on TV, every time her parents spoke about home, she felt a connection too strong to ignore. By 2021, she had made her debut for Nigeria, and the moment she wore the green and white jersey for the first time, her decision was sealed forever. Her breakout came during Nigeria's qualification campaign for the 2022 Africa Women's Cup of Nations. Esther scored on her debut against Ghana, announcing herself as a player who belonged at the top level. She brought speed, intelligence, and a direct style of play that gave the Falcons another attacking weapon. Beyond football, Esther represents something bigger: the idea that you don't have to forget where you come from, no matter how far away you move. She could have blended into the powerful US system, but instead, she chose to strengthen Nigeria's heritage on the pitch. She once admitted in interviews that wearing the Nigerian jersey was about more than football: it was about reconnecting with her identity and giving back to the nation that raised her. Today, fans see her as one of the new generation Falcons who combine international exposure with African grit. That's why Esther Okoronkwo kicks off our countdown at number 5. Number 4, Nicole Payne. At number 4, we have Nicole Payne, a name that carries weight in the Falcons squad not just for her talent, but also for her incredible family story. Born in Birmingham, Alabama, Nicole grew up in a family passionate about both education and football. She and her sister, Toni Payne, both had the chance to represent the United States. And if you know anything about American women's football, you'll understand how tough that decision was. The US women's national team is the most decorated in history, with 4 World Cup titles. Playing for them is like reaching the top of the mountain in women's football. Nicole came through the US youth system, representing America at U17, U19, and U20 levels. At that point, the road to the senior team seemed wide open. But when it came time to make the final decision, Nicole chose Nigeria. Why? Because of heritage. Because of identity. Because of family. Nicole has often said that her Nigerian parents instilled in her a strong sense of cultural pride. Home was filled with Nigerian food, Nigerian music, and Nigerian traditions. Even though she was born and raised in the US, Nigeria always felt like more than just roots: it was part of her daily life. Her commitment became reality in 2021 when she made her debut for the Super Falcons. As a fullback, Nicole brings defensive stability combined with attacking runs on the wings. She's young, energetic, and versatile, everything you want in the modern game. What makes her story even more special is that Toni. We'll get to Toni later in this countdown, but think about it, how many siblings get to play for the same national team? Not the one they were born in, but the one they chose out of pride and passion? That's heritage in action. Nicole Payne's story teaches us one thing. Sometimes, the biggest victories aren't about trophies, but about staying true to who you are. Number 3, Michelle Alozie. Sliding into number 3 is the fan favorite Michelle Alozie. If you watch the 2023 Women's World Cup, you already know her name. Michelle isn't just a footballer, she's also a cancer research scientist at Texas Children's Hospital. Yes, you heard that right, footballer by day, scientist by night. Born in Apple Valley, California, Michelle had the dream every us-born player dreams of, making it to the US women's national team. With her pace, energy, and skill, she could have competed for that spot. But instead, Michelle chose Nigeria, the land of her parents. Her decision wasn't easy. The US offers better facilities, higher wages, and more exposure. Nigeria, on the other hand, comes with challenges: limited investment, occasional administrative issues, and fewer guarantees. But Michelle wasn't looking for the easy road, she was looking for the meaningful one. When she made her debut for the Falcons, fans immediately noticed her fiery style. She plays with hunger, determination, and a deep sense of responsibility. At the World Cup, she became a household name, not just for her performance, but for her resilience. Remember her fearless clash with England's Lauren James? That moment showed the world that Michelle isn't afraid of giants. Off the pitch, Michelle uses her platform to inspire young girls, reminding them that they can chase multiple dreams. You can be a scientist and a footballer. You can be American born but still wear your Nigerian heart on your sleeve. Her journey is one of balance, identity, and courage. And that's why Michelle Alozie proudly claims our number 3 spot. Number 2, Toni Payne. At number 2, we celebrate Toni Payne, Nicole's elder sister and one of the most dynamic midfielders in African women's football today. Born in Birmingham, Alabama, just like Nicole, Toni also came through the US youth system, playing for the U17 and U20 teams. She even featured in the FIFA U20 Women's World Cup for the USA. Many thought she was destined to be a future star for America. But life had other plans. Deep inside, Toni always felt connected to Nigeria. She has spoken about how her Nigerian heritage shaped her sense of discipline, resilience, and ambition. While America offered a glittering football pathway, Nigeria offered something priceless: belonging. In 2021, she officially switched allegiance and made her debut for the Super Falcons. Since then, she has become a midfield maestro, controlling games with her vision, passing accuracy, and ability to drive the ball forward. She's not just a footballer, she's a leader, the kind of player that makes everyone around her better. Toni's decision to play for Nigeria also came at a time when the Falcons were transitioning to a new generation. She became a symbol of hope, showing that Nigeria could attract top talents from across the world. Her journey also reminds us of something bigger: talent alone doesn't define legacy, identity does. She could have worn the US jersey, but her heart told her otherwise. Today, Nigerian fans chant her name, and her story continues to inspire young players across the diaspora. For her loyalty, passion, and brilliance, Toni Payne secures the number 2 spot in our countdown. Number 1, Ashley Plumptre. Finally, at number 1, we have Ashley Plumptre, a name that has become synonymous with heritage, courage, and pride. Born in Leicester, England, Ashley grew up in the world of English football. She rose through Leicester City's academy and even represented England at various youth levels, from U15 up to U23. With her talent, she was tipped for the Lionesses senior team. But Ashley made a decision that shocked many in the football community: she chose Nigeria. Why would someone turn down the opportunity to play for England, the reigning European champions and one of the strongest teams in the world? For Ashley, it wasn't about fame or titles, it was about family and identity. Her father is Nigerian, and growing up, she always felt proud of her African roots. Even though she spent her entire life in England, Nigeria was always in her blood. By 2021, she decided to follow her heart and switch allegiance. Her debut for the Super Falcons was more than a football game, it was a declaration of belonging. Fans welcomed her with open arms, and Ashley quickly became a defensive rock, combining European discipline with Nigerian passion. Beyond her skills, what makes Ashley so inspiring is her honesty. She openly shares the challenges of her decision, how people questioned her, how she had to adapt to new systems, and how she embraced the responsibility of representing millions of Nigerians worldwide. She has since become a role model, not just for players of mixed heritage, but for anyone struggling to balance two identities. Ashley shows that you don't have to choose between cultures, you can embrace both, and in doing so, inspire millions. Her performances at the Women's Africa Cup of Nations and the World Cup have cemented her place as one of Nigeria's most important players. Every tackle, every header, every celebration is proof that she belongs in green and white. And that's why Ashley Plumptre takes the #1 spot in our countdown of Super Falcons who turned down their birth nations to proudly represent Nigeria. So there you have it, 5 inspiring stories of women who chose heritage over convenience, identity over comfort, and pride over glory. From Esther Okoronkwo's Texas journey, to the Payne sisters' family legacy, to Michelle Alozie's science and sport balance, and finally Ashley Plumptre's bold stand against expectations. Each of these players proves that representing Nigeria is more than a career move, it's a statement of love and belonging. The Super Falcons are not just a football team. They are a living, breathing symbol of Nigeria's global reach. They remind us that no matter where you are born, the spirit of home never dies. As we look forward to the future of women's football, one thing is clear: with players like these, the Super Falcons will continue to soar, not just as champions of Africa, but as symbols of unity across the world. So, what do you think? Which of these players' stories inspired you the most? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more powerful football stories. Until next time, keep believing, keep supporting, and keep